Hey, what is up guys? How are you doing? It's Ivan here. In this video I'm going to be showing you how you can label your training images to train YOLO version 3. So labeling is basically drawing those bounding boxes around on the image. And when you have a lot of those, oftentimes your object detector, in this case we're dealing with YOLO here guys, may learn to pick up its its patterns that object has, and eventually learn to detect it on the image. So that's how labeling is done, and here's how it looks in progress. So okay guys, as you may have seen, labeling is not a really quick and a quick process. In fact, it's quite rigorous, and it often takes about an hour, maybe an hour and a half for me to label something like 1500 images. So it's not quick. However, if you have just the right tools at your disposal, it may help you greatly to go through that in a more effective and more efficient fashion and get your labels done. And I'm gonna be sharing with you just the tool to do that today. So the tool that I've discovered and that I've been using, that I've been greatly enjoying, was the open labeling tool made by this awesome guy named Joao Cartucho. And the greatest thing about it is that it's written fully in Python. So in fact, I wasn't using just this version. When I started using it, I've identified a few issues, and because it's written in Python and because it has all those nice comments there and it's pretty straightforward, I was able to modify it to my liking. In fact, what I did is added an ability to kind of to switch the classes by pressing my keyboard, something like that, and deleting certain images, because sometimes, especially when you're generating your training data, something that I've been experimenting with lately, some of it tends to get screwed up, and you may not want to just use it and go and to the folder and delete, and that is kind of rigorous. So I've added a delete feature that goes on R. So in this video, I'm gonna be showing how to use that labeling tool to label your YOLO images, guys. Let's go. So okay guys, here's what the logic behind labeling and how this thing works. So let me just go ahead and close this thing. So when you're trying to train an object detector, you have a certain object in mind, whether it's training again, computer mouse, or a bus door, bus wheel, car, wild rabbits that live in the wild forest in some really cold place like Siberia, where I'm at right now. When you have an object, it's just not enough to have an image and say that there's a rabbit there, because you've also got to predict where the rabbit is, and that's what makes gathering the training data sets for object detection greatly more requiring of effort, because not only should you have an object in the picture, cat, just a cat or dog there, but you also gotta have a bounding box drawn around that cat or around that dog, so that your object detecting neural network can pick up and learn its location. And in the case of YOLO, what it takes, first, let's say we're detecting this notebook here. What we're gonna need to give it is what YOLO needs, in fact, is the center, like the X of the center, and then like the Y of the center. So basically like this point, right? And then it's gonna need its width and its height. So it's like center, width, height. Center from both X and Y, obviously. And you know, if you think about it, if you know like the center, if you know, and you know like the width, you can basically like cut the width in half, and you know, and you know, you can like cut the width in half, and you already like know the left. You can find like the bottom. You can find like the bottom by just, you know, taking the height of the object. So like you know the center, you know what that is. You can, from knowing the width and height, you can like basically get all this points. Like you can basically everything you need to draw that beautiful rectangle. And of course that would not be a good idea to take the images and like, I don't know, like opening them, like having some mouth tracker. Like, come on, let's wait for it. Okay, there we go. And having like some mouth tracker and like being, I don't know, like this is like 100x 100y, and like going and typing that out like in a text document manual, like that would have been like horrible. Like, that's a bad idea, and of course nobody does that at scale. So in order to make that process a little bit more manageable and quick, because basically all we need here is to just, you know, kind of draw the bounding box. Like that's all we need. We can do that in like two clicks of the mouse, and a bunch of work done by Evolution to evolve our beautiful visual cortex to be into what it is today. Probably the best object classifier out there, at least to this day. So we gotta, you know, get those bounding boxes, and the YOLO format takes center, like the center Y, center X, it takes width and height of the object, you know, center relative to like where it is on the image. And if we have, for instance, several objects, for instance, like we have like a bus, and bus has like a whale, and you know, there's several guys. So the format would be, for instance, let's say like the bus class would be like 0, and the bus wheel would be like I don't know, 1. I mean, it would be 1, so it's 1. So we would write to our text document, first line would be like 0. Actually, I'm gonna show you. So the way this labeling tool works is that when you get it, this is my modified version. I'll leave a GitHub link to that if you get that. So like that's what you'll see here. When you place the images here, and you run .py, what it'll look at the images and it'll create the empty text files for the bounding box. And now this one was created like for this 00000.jpg bus. And if you like go ahead and like, let's say what I have here, bus wheels. So I'll draw bus wheel. So we have one bus wheel here, and we'll go ahead here and to open labeling, and we'll see that something appeared here, something that's, and those values, they're not in pixels, like they're normalized, so they are the percentages, so they can be used as the as the labels for neural nets. So like that's kind of pretty handy. So we have something at the, you know, 46% of the X, kind of seems plausible, right? And something that's down like 63% by Y also seems kind of credible, and its width is 12% and its height is 20%. I mean, yeah, kind of works with me. And if we go ahead and let's say we like draw the bus here, but it's a bad door, but whatever, it can be anything you want here. Like, so we go ahead and like draw that. We go and we see, oh, we now have here two guys, and the first class is the, you know, it's not actually the first, like it's the first class, but like actually the first class is the 0th class. So The zeros class is this, like of buzzer, but I've actually highlighted the buzz, so let's highlight the buzzer, so that's kind of more credible here. So when you go ahead and like, oftentimes if you're like trying to build something robust, you may want to have like maybe 1,000 images per class, maybe at least 500 per class, maybe 1,000, and train it. So you go and you like highlight the, you draw those bounding boxes all over the place. Hopefully not draw them in the right place, your training will go well, because labeling is really crucial for training data. It's like I've been building that model that detects buzzers, and it's gotten exponentially better as I've just increased the amount of data that I've given, the amount of label data, the amount of like good high-res data. So it takes effort, but it's really rewarding, and it's really like the #1 way to make sure that you're having the the good performance that you want. So again, I'm working here kind of with bus images, but you can do whatever you want. So okay, let me just show you how it works. Let's go and delete everything from here and delete all the images, delete everything. It was random, so it was creating those 60 files. Okay. Now, basically, if you remember if you're following the series, in the last video we downloaded all those images. It's again buses kind of feel natural for me already. So we gotta we gotta kind of have a nice way to move them around. There's like a little like super simple Python script that we can write to kind of move them to that folder. So okay, let's get started. So remember, like, we had this training image that we've downloaded from Google. I mean, probably you might have like several folders, because like you've downloaded, for instance, like the white rabbits who live in forests, and some monkeys who live in the jungle, and you may have several folders and you want to like throw them. Remember, when we're doing like with open labeling tool, you want to throw them into that images folder so that you can run that py, and so that you can create those txt files for each of those images, and you can like go and label them. That's what you want, and you want like a nice clean way to move them around, and that's what we're gonna do here. So here we have the images. So it's gonna be a real Python script. It's gonna be like the fastest Python script out there. Move images. So we'll import OS, and then we'll say like what are the folders that we wanna scan, and this will be also buses and beautiful buses. Yo! And we're also gonna define the path to open labeling images, and we'll define this path here. So basically all that we gotta do is to say for folder in folders. For each folder we're gonna say for image in OS, scan their of folder. Okay, this thing's folders. So OS scanner will basically return like all the like all the images and like all the like OS scan their objects that has the image and that has its path. So like that's kind of handy. So you can think that like here we're basically returning here we're basically iterating through each image in those folders. We'll say that for image, and we're also gonna do a counter here. So we'll say n equals 0 here. So taking and n equals n plus 1, and this thing we kind of need to do the formatting so that we can have like nicely named you know, one after each other images, and we can, you know, easily say how many of those we have. Although of course it's not a problem. So we'll say the OS rename, which is what you use to rename files and also what you use to move them around. And we'll say which file do we want to kind of rename. We want to rename the image with for image from its path to OS join, no, OS that path that join, and what do we want to join? Like, what do we want the new path to be? We want to take the path that we had there, and we want to join it with something nicely formatted, something like. Okay, so yeah, I sensed that something was going wrong, so we actually want to format it like this. That JPG, and that format with, and so that'll basically create like those nice names like 0000001 and 002 and like so on and so on. Like that's quite nice and quite neat. So let's go and launch this thing, and you know, you can see here there's nothing here now. Let's run this thing, and oh, there we go. And now we have all the images nicely labeled here in the image folder, so we can just go and label them. So now once we've got like the images in the right place, all we gotta do is like to label them. But before we do that, we gotta actually tell open labeling what classes do you want. And like here, select like bus doors and bus wheels. Like let's say we want to have like bus doors, people, faces, and rabbits, because I seem to be like really upset with rabbits, you know, in the course of this tutorial. So for instance, we have like 4 classes here. You can have like how many you want, although like be aware that the more you have, the more, you know, the more time it'll take to train, the more like filters you'll have in the, you know, before the YOLO layers and all that. So kind of keep it nice, keep it nice and clean, and your model will be like super good. So we'll select those classes, and like the line that each class in kind of indicates like what little class will be like. Here's what like bus class is like 0, bus wheels 1, people faces 2, rabbit 3. So we have the images in place, we have the classes, we say save, then we go run that py, and it runs itself, get the labeling thing going. Kind of bus doors, this is like a rabbit, and this thing is a rabbit. It's not a rabbit, but use your imagination. Like we were given imagination for some reasons, and what was it other than seeing in a bus door people faces, or in a bus door bus wheel, and in a bus wheel a rabbit? Because why not? So going like your label, oh my god, that may actually be a correct label. That's very new to me. So when you like go around, like you label it all, like here's, no, where was the people face? Yep. So, and for each image that you label, you get those like all the corresponding files get also edited. So you see the images that we've not touched, you know, they have the 0 label. So one last thing that I kind of want to say here is that when you're doing, I think like that's pretty clear. Like takes 2 clicks and all that, change the classes, move around the images, like pretty straightforward stuff. What you may want to do is to not get rid of the images where there are like no objects, because it's not as important as like having an object, you know, having drawn the bounding box. But like if you have, for instance, if you're trying to deck buses and there's like an ocean picture and there is no buses, it's actually can be quite useful for the network to kind of so that you can tell the network like it's an ocean, there are no bounding boxes, thus there are no buses, and it actually can, contribute for making network more robust and perform better and be less likely to misdetect an object if you kind of give those images where there's nothing, and and kind of learn that there's nothing, it becomes even more robust. And you may want to have something 20 images where there's nothing, 80 where there's something, and where there's something you want to make sure that you're labeling them correctly, because if you're training data, if you're bounding boxes, if your labels are not good, what's the network are gonna learn from? So pay attention to that. And yeah, in next videos we'll take these corresponding .txt labels and the images, and we'll actually start setting up the training stuff, because actual training is real close, guys, and I really hope that it helps you. I hope that it brought you some value and you enjoyed it. If you have a question, I encourage you to go and ask it. I'm here, help here, answer everything. Maybe if you're asking the meaning of life, I may kind of think about it for a few minutes, but here to help, and hope that you're having a great day and enjoying it, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Have a good one.